Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping into the core ideas from Carl Gold's fantastic book, Fighting Churn with Data. It's all about the science of keeping your customers, and let me tell you, it kind of flips the script on how most people think you should do it.
So let's start with a feeling I think we've all had. You're looking at a streaming service or maybe a software tool, and you just think, you know what? I'm not really using this. You find that cancel button, you click it, and that's that.
Well, in the business world, that little click has a big name: churn. And for any company that relies on subscriptions or repeat customers, churn isn't just a small problem. It's pretty much the silent killer of growth.
Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to unpack why churn is such a big deal, then talk about a common mistake called the prediction trap. After that, we'll get into a much smarter way to fight it, look at 5 specific strategies, and wrap it all up with a clear battle plan.
First things first, why is churn such a big deal? I mean, why is it more than just a minor headache? Well, it's a fundamental threat to a company's future.
Think about it like this. You're trying to fill a bucket with water, but there's a hole in the bottom. Your sales and marketing teams are working like crazy, pouring new customers in the top. But churn is that hole, constantly draining away all that hard work. You can pour as fast as you want, but you're never going to get ahead until you plug that leak.
So when companies decide to finally tackle churn with data, their first instinct, well, it often leads them right into what the book calls the prediction trap.
The immediate thought is always, hey, let's build a crystal ball. Let's use all this cool machine learning to predict exactly who's going to cancel next month. And look, it sounds super smart, right? It sounds data-driven, but it's actually a really flawed approach. And here is the absolute core idea of the book. Just knowing who might leave you, it's not actually that helpful, because it doesn't tell you why they're thinking of leaving, or more importantly, what you can do about it. You predict someone's at risk. Now what? Send them a generic, please don't go email? Yeah, that rarely works. The book really breaks down why this is so hard. I mean, for one, timing is totally unpredictable. People cancel for reasons you'll never see in your data, like maybe they just lost their job. The value of your service is completely subjective. A feature one person loves is totally ignored by another. And here's the big one. For most companies, churn is actually a pretty rare event, so any prediction model you build is going to create a ton of false alarms, which just wastes everyone's time. Okay, so if prediction is a trap, what's the smarter weapon in this fight? Well, the book argues it's not about predicting the future. It's about deeply understanding what's happening right now, and you do that by using the right customer metrics.
And a customer metric sounds technical, but it's really simple. It's just a way of measuring what your customers are actually doing. For a music app, it could be how many playlists they create. For a project management tool, maybe it's the number of tasks they complete each week. It's about turning that fuzzy idea of engagement into real numbers you can actually work with.
But here's the thing. Not all metrics are created equal. A great metric, as the book explains, is one that everyone in the company can get their head around, from marketing to engineering. It has to be clearly linked to retention. You can see that customers who use a certain feature 3 times a week almost never cancel. And most importantly, it gives you a specific lever you can pull to actually help customers who are struggling.
So once you find these great metrics, they become the foundation for a coordinated, company-wide strategy to really fight churn.
This is where it all comes together. These metrics become a shared language. The product team can now use data to find those sticky features and double down on them. Marketing can stop sending generic blasts and start sending targeted tips based on what a user is actually doing. You can spot pricing problems, like people on a premium plan who are only using basic features. That's a huge churn risk. This lets your customer success team be proactive, reaching out to help struggling users before they give up. And finally, you can see which marketing channels are bringing you the best, most engaged customers so you can focus your money where it really counts.
In the end, the book boils this entire approach down to a simple, repeatable process: a data-driven battle plan.
The process is really straightforward. First, you measure what your customers are doing. Second, you analyze how those behaviors connect to whether they stay or they leave. Third, you group customers based on those insights. Think new users who are stuck versus power users who are slowing down. And fourth, you launch super specific targeted actions to help each of those groups. It's a cycle that leads to growth, not just from new sales, but from keeping the great customers you already have.
So, the book really leaves us with this final, powerful question. The goal isn't to build a perfect crystal ball so you can just sit back and watch what happens. No, the goal is to build a better dashboard, one that gives you the insights to understand what's happening right now so you can actively step in and shape a better future for your customers and ultimately for your business.